Platinum. That is a currency that we all want, we all need, and we all want more of. There is simply never enough platinum in that box up there in the top right corner. We all want more of it, and if we can make it passively like this Gaming Weasel YouTuber says, it is going to be amazing. Well, of course, first off, the title is in quotation marks, so is the thumbnail, so I'm not, baiting you, but honestly, this way of making platinum is something that you can do semi-passively, and I'll explain that in just a second. Nonetheless, the topic of today's video, of course, passive income in Warframe. I wish we could all do that in real life, but sadly, we can only sort of do it in Warframe. Now, what do I mean? Well, passive for me in Warframe means you're basically doing a mission for something completely different, but yet you get rewarded with something that is still going to give you platinum. For example, maybe some people are going to play, let's say, something like the Profit Taker, which takes us on to our first platinum making method, and that is of course of credits. We all want credits, we all need credits. The Profit Taker is one of the best ways of making credits. Now, when you do defeat the Profit Taker, he is going to, or she is going to give you that, I'm not sure what she identifies as, or he, it, they, whatever, give you Charisma Toroids. Now, Charisma Toroids can be exchanged for standing with Little Duck. Now, what Little Duck does is, when you do get that standing, you can purchase one of two Arcanes. Oh yes, Magus Anomaly and Magus Lockdown. Now, these two Arcanes, when fully maxed out, are going to be around 120-150 platinum. Now, Magus Lockdown and Anomaly are both great Arcanes to have on your, of course, operator, but if you already have them, selling them for a juicy profit is not that bad. And especially considering you're doing the Profit Taker just to get credits, making platinum on the side is incredibly good. For example, I do the Profit Taker at least once a week. I dedicate like 1 hour or two, and honestly, you can get at least 1 to 2 Arcanes depending on your standing amount per week. Probably not fully built if you're not that dedicated. Even I'm not, nobody is, except if you are basically Scrooge Duck and you really want platinum. Nonetheless, the Profit Taker, the first way of making platinum. So let's move on to something that I think a lot of players actually forgot about, and this is, I guess, the least passive way of making platinum, the Zeremon Arcanes and the Zeremon missions. Now, of course, you can farm a really hefty amount of focus as well from the Thrax units, which is really good, but, for example, I'm a Warframe player that plays the Zeremon missions because I actually really like the Zeremon missions. I love Void Cascade and I love Void Armageddon. Those two missions are incredibly fun for me. I have no idea why. Nonetheless, these two ways are going to be really good for making platinum, because Zeremon missions, of course, reward you with a pretty good hefty amount of Void Plumes. Now, if you have, for example, the bounty for extermination, it is gonna be extremely easy. What I usually do, I make around 200 platinum just from this per week because of this. So what you do is basically when there's an exterminate mission, fully utilize that mission, play it off until it ends, gain enough Void Plumes basically to have at least like 2 or 3 or 4 days of standing in. And then what you do is go to Cavalero, you purchase one of many Arcanes, because honestly almost all of his Arcanes sell for a decent amount of profit. And now, of course, we do have Molt Augmented and Efficiency, which sell around 140-150 platinum per maxed out Arcane, which is pretty goddamn good. Now, Conjunction Survival. Conjunction Survival is a mission that I think nobody does anymore. Conjunction Survival was very interesting the first week when it came out, and now it's completely doo-doo and trash. Now, for example, if you're a Warframe player that really loves testing out builds against high-end targets, level, let's say 180, 200, which is the mission's level in Steel Path, then the Conjunction Survival is extremely good. Plus, if you really want to, of course, gain Steel Essence, this is a pretty good tileset to do it on, on, and actually a pretty good place to do it on as well. It doesn't really change the spawn or anything, but the good thing is, if you're someone who forms, let's say, of course, Steel Essence, go into Conjunction Survival, get that Luothrax Plasm, go to Archimedes Yonta, back onto the Zermon ship, and then purchase Arcane Blessing. And then, once you get a maxed out Arcane Blessing, sell it for like 100-130 platinum. That is something that you can do passively as well. And now, of course, the passive methods are pretty much done and dusted. There are plenty of more. I decided to focus on Arcanes in this video just because Arcanes are something that a lot of people don't talk about, and if you do Conjunction Survival, Profit Taker, and the Zermon missions alone, you can make around 400 to 600 platinum per week, basically just doing something that you're already doing, or maybe you really are just trying. If nothing else, you can make like 300 platinum, something like that, which is pretty easy. If, let's say you do the Profit Taker and then do Conjunction Survival, you get Steel Essence, you get credits, and you also get around 300-400 platinum, so that's pretty good. But now, I have something very, very special for you guys. To the people that stayed this long in the video, I have Citrine's, of course, update that came out a while ago, and that is, of course, the Tayana Pass, the Mirror Defense. Now, you might be saying that's not passive, I think nobody plays Mirror Defense. Well, you're completely right, and that is good in a really, really nice way. What do I mean? Now, so of course, if you don't know, I do have a full guide on how to do this the most efficient way possible, so the little eye up there, click that up there, and now, Citrine's Mirror Defense missions are basically left dead. These defense missions are, in my opinion, honestly boring. To get one Arcane, for example Second Encumbered, which is incredibly useful, or either one of the Arcanes, you need around 15 minutes to get 60 of each of the crystals, the ball main and the other red crystal, which I forgot the name of, but you guys probably have an idea what I'm talking about. Nonetheless, 15 minutes per one Arcane. That is not fully maxed out, keep that in mind. So you need 21, so let me just do some quick maths. For that, you need 15 times 21, that is basically 315, which is going to be divided by 60, so that's 5 hours, which isn't the most efficient way possible, but keep this in mind, that you get around 300 platinum per Arcane, because these Arcanes are really useful. First of all, Second Encumbered is an incredibly useful Arcane, and nobody's playing Mirror Defense. Honestly, dedicate yourself once or twice a week to play at least an hour or two of this game mode, and honestly, per 2 weeks, 300 platinum per one Arcane is really, really good. You don't need a lot of platinum in Warframe. I know a lot of us love seeing the big numbers, but 5 hours per, let's say, I mean, you have 7 days per week. If you play 1 hour of Mirror Defense, that is 300 platinum per week. If you do every single method that I have told you today, you can earn a maximum of 900 platinum per week, basically doing nothing, or I guess farming what you already have, even though nobody's doing Mirror Defense, but that last one is just for the special people that stayed till the end of the video. Nonetheless, I am your lovely host, the Gaming Weasel. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, do leave a like, comment down below what do you think of this. I hopefully didn't clickbait you guys, because this is technically not passive, but you know, I explained everything at the beginning of the video. Nonetheless, do subscribe for more content. I will see you guys in the next video. I do have a big project coming up, so keep an eye out for that, and I will see you guys on the next one.